Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of our podcast series. In this particular episode, we'll discuss about how did the teams fare in this particular auction, what were their strategies. We discussed about the strategies they went through throughout the auction. But here we'll discuss on how did they fare, like if their auction went well for them, what are their first 11 that they can select, and how they can form a formidable team which can compete in the IPL. So that is what we are going to discuss. We have named this episode Auction Replay because we are just going to go into the mindset of the teams, what they thought of while selecting the different players within their team, and what could have been some better options they could have gone for, but they could not go for. So, all those areas we'll try to cover, and that is how we are going to pan out this podcast for you. So let's go with each of the teams. What are the teams that they have selected, and what could be the best 11 for them? What are the reserves available for them? Let's discuss about those. Going to the first team, Kings. They went for a total revamp of their team. They went for a fresh captain. They went for a lot many selections. So let's discuss about it.
So Punjab, for me, it was a bit of disappointment. I mean, knowing that they had a great advantage heading to the auctions, having the highest available purse. At the very beginning, they were disastrous, I would say. But they had to go for a captain, so but they went far ahead for Shreyas Iyer, I would say. But then, I guess later on they pulled it back. I mean, they bought some good players. They filled up most of their positions, but at the end, if I see their 11, I don't see. I mean, I would have thought of a better team. They could have got a better team at the end. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, so here is my 11. If you see the 11 here, so Josh English, I mean, they have the best option as of now to open is Josh English. He has captained Australia as well in the T20 format and has opened as well certain times. Has a good decent T20 record and is kind of a like to like replacement for Johnny Bairstow. He's a wicket keeper, is a captain, and he is a power hitter as well. Prab Simran Singh, they had shown faith and they had retained him, so I think that's going to be the second opener for them. Shreyas Iyer would slot in at three, and he would also be the captain of the team. Shashank Singh, I think he was brilliant at four last time, so he would continue to stay in that position. Now, what Punjab have done well is that they have slotted in Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, and Nehal Vadera at 5, 6, and 7, which is a good finishing touch for the Punjab Kings. So Stoinis, I mean, he's excellent. I mean, he performed very well in the last season as well, last few seasons as well. Maxwell did not have a very good season, but I think he should bring back those old memories of 2014 and start performing. So look to see a good season from Glenn Maxwell. Nehal Vadera would be, I guess, he would be used as an impact sub. So if Punjab bowl first, then he would come in the second half and he would give that finishing touch. At eight, I mean, they would go with Marco Janssen, who is a bowling all rounder, can do some can do something with the bat as well. Arshdeep Singh, it's a no-brainer. I mean, he would definitely be leading their pace attack. Harpreet Brar would be their second spinner. In place of Nehal Vadera, as an impact sub, they will bring their first spinner, that is Yuji Chahal. Punjab went far ahead for him. I mean, 18 CR was a bit expensive for them, but nonetheless, I mean, UG Chahal is their primary spinner, so they will go with that. And completing the 11, it would be either Yash Thakur or they can also go to a Vijay Kumar Vyashak or a Kuldeep Sen. Now, where Punjab could have done better is that I know that they definitely wanted a spinner, but maybe spending 18 CR on UZ was way too much. Maybe they could have gone for a different spinner, and they could have had a better opener. I mean, Josh English still has not proved too much in the T20 cricket as per me, but I mean that's what where they lacked. The reserves that they have, so there are some like to like replacements. Like for example, for Marcus Stoinis or Glenn Maxwell, they can slot in Omar Zai, who is a pace bowling all rounder and a good batsman as well, handy batsman. Aaron Hardy is another all rounder. He's a bowling all rounder, so he can contribute with the bowl as well as the bat. Lockie Ferguson has had some good IPL matches when he was a part of the GT side, so he can also be a replacement if your Marco Janssen does not click in. And Kuldeep Sen and Vijay Kumar Vyashak obviously are the other options in place of Yash Thakur. So that would be my take for Punjab Kings 11. Not a very good auction, but nonetheless they had still been able to build a team.
Right. Their opening three looks a bit iffy in terms of other how the other teams are shaped. Prabhas also had a bit of shaky IPL last season. Like it would depend much on how their players are informed. Even if you look at Glenn Maxwell, he has his history with Punjab Kings, right? So the seasons where he was with Punjab Kings did not go as per expectations. Then he moved to the RCB. Maybe a bit iffy in terms of how things go for them. But if everyone fires at once, then they have built a good team, a formidable team to compete. Even the middle order looks fine for them. Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, so they have fair amount of firepower.
Yeah, they
Okay.
have good hitters in the lineup, I think. So that's where they have done well. I mean, the finishing part is good.
Any of the other youngsters that they have picked, you see who could be handy?
See, I mean, looking at their team, it does not look like, but you never know. I mean, they might have some surprise package in place who would definitely come in place. I mean, we never knew who Harpreet Brar was, but he suddenly came out of the blue and started performing.
So that's about Punjab Kings. Maybe we can move to the next team. Let's talk about Kolkata Knight Riders.
In Kolkata Knight Riders, we saw that the auction was a little bit iffy. They were going for the strategy of bringing back the old squad, which kind of backfired on them, including making Venkatesh Iyer, taking him at almost over 20 crore, which is, I believe, way overpriced. This kind of destroyed their balance. At the same time, if you remember, Kolkata almost bagged Shami before the auctioneer kind of made a goof up and again they left him. So Kolkata's main challenge will be finding a captain. Here I have taken a different approach. I believe they or Zindu can add on to that. Agree with him that Ajinkya Rahane is the perfect captaincy material. But if the Kolkata wants to build a team for next 3 years, they might have to start afresh and they might have to think about a long-term captain instead of a stopgap captain. We had two stopgap captain in terms of Ian Morgan and Dinesh Karthik. Johan Morgan was partially successful, but Dinesh Karthik was a disaster. So I believe Ajinkya Rahane can be a part of the leadership think tank where his old experience can put value into the team, but they want to groom a new captain. Building a team without a captain is always a challenge. KKR, I hope KKR will be able to overcome it. It will be a difficult decision because we know as some other experts were also mentioning that KKR's bulk of the success came from the top order, Sunil Narayan and Phil Salt. We do have that like for like replacement in Quinton de Kock, even though Quinton de Kock is a much more experienced player, but he didn't have a good IPL last year. But if he clicks in the small Eden Garden Stadium, he can be of immense value. I took a risk of putting Ajinkya Rahane in the reserves and putting Venkatesh Iyer in number 3 as a captain. I want to put him on the top of the order. He can also come at number 4 and 5, but I have put him on the top so that he can at least lead from the front and start to gain confidence as a leader and taking the team from the front. And then I have put Ankrish Raghuvanshi again ahead of Rahane. He might be replaced if he's not making good performance in the long run. He might be replaced with Rahane in the middle order, and then Venkatesh can come lower down the order. And then I have Rinku Singh, Andre Russell, and Ramandeep. These three are unreplaceable. They might come here and there, but these three are unreplaceable, and they are going to play all the matches throughout the 14 matches, whatever they do. Then we have four bowlers I have kept: Harshit Rana, Umran Malik, Henrik Nortje, and Varun Chakrabarti. The reason I kept Umran Malik is that he has good pace. He has more India experience than Vaibhav Arora, so he has been to the best of the league, but he can falter a lot. He is not a bowler who thinks a lot. He is a bowler who depends on pace. But soon, if he falters, he can be replaced with Vaibhav Arora, which I kept him in the reserve. Also, I kept Moeen Ali, Spencer Johnson, and Gurbaz. They are like for like replaced for Quinton de Kock and Nick Notquay and Sunil Nayan. Sunil Nayan won't be replaced. Even if he falters in batting, he might be put down the order. But we know, but this thing has happened before. I hope they will maintain this. And for impact sub, the most legible player I found is Onukul Rai because they have already four foreigners up to the trot. So this is the combination I came up with. Again, many may disagree with me. Many may say that Ajinkya Rahane is the captain option for here. I also agree with them. But given the way they have spent on Venkatesh, if they do not make total investment of putting him as the captain, because we know he's a thinking player, he has a lot of aptitude in terms of the insights of the game. So if he does not leverage that and put his acumen over there, then obviously Rahane will be a backup choice for that. But let's see how KKR does this with this new look of a team. I don't expect them to defend the IPL this year, but I believe they can make a lot of surprise performance with this particular team.
So, if you look at how they have auctioned, even they have followed the same template, exactly the same template, going for like replacements. Just that this team does not have a equivalent captain to Shreyas Iyer. Other than that, they have filled all the boxes to the 11 or the 12 which played the last year's final. Apart from somebody like Shreyas Iyer who was the captain. So, yeah, maybe Ajinkya Rahane could be one of those replacements, experienced Indian player, but we are never sure of his form because he was playing the Shahid Mustaq Ali Trophy. He made a run ball 13 in one of the matches, so he's not playing in the top three like where he usually likes to play or how CSK used him. So you do not know how he will be performing. He is on the wrong side of his age also. So and also if you look at their auction template, they have been heavily relying on Sunil Narayan and Russell for the last many years, and both are closing to 36. So by the end of this 3 year cycle, they will all reach 39, right? So maybe they have to find
Mm.
a kind of replacement, or they have to find a roadmap for themselves going ahead, how they are going to plan for it. So they have tried to stick to their formula. Sometimes that has made them a bit too rigid in terms of how they went with the auction. That's what I feel.
Actually, buying Venki Iyer at 23 crore is something that messed it up for them. I mean, see, Venki Iyer, even if he scores a 500 plus, if he has a 500 plus season this time as well, still he's not a 23 CR player. I see that. See, and now that they have bought Venkier as 23 CR, he's definitely going to be the captain. There's no point in bringing Ajinkya Rahane and making him as the captain. He would definitely be there. I think slightly disagree with Rick Joy. Maybe they will start off with Ajinkya Rahane just because he's the senior folk and he might provide some guidance to Venki Iyer. But after a few matches, it's going to be again to Ankush Raghuvanshi because I don't see Rahane performing that well. But yeah, that I mean, Venki Iyer 23 CR is something that messed it up for them. They could not buy. I think Quinton de Kock might have been their third or fourth option. They would definitely should have gone for KL Rahul or Josh Butler or Phil Salt. But knowing that they wanted to buy Venki Iyer at 23 CR, they never expected, I guess, that Venki Iyer would go to 23 CR. But now they had to buy, so that's why I mean Quinton de Kock was their third or fourth option that they went with. And they
And
also wanted to buy Allah Ganzafar, right? But
mm,
just because they did not have the budget, Allah Ganzafar is a brilliant replacement for Sunil Narine, the thing that you're talking about, right?
Yes.
After two,
mm.
3 years. So they definitely wanted to buy him, and he was already then the squad. But just because they messed it up with Venki Ayer's auction strategy, I guess that's what costed them a lot. So not a very good auction. They were brilliant in retentions, but the auction was again not up to the mark for them.
Yeah.
And the auction dynamics actually links the fate in such a manner. If you see, like if
Mm.
Bangalore had gone ahead for KL Rahul, or they could have achieved KL Rahul in their team, they wouldn't have gone for Venkatesh Iyer. And they were at a point where they were looking for a left-handed Indian batsman in their
Mm.
11. That is what, like, it's always two teams that raises the price of a player. Of course, like Venkatesh Iyer, we are saying that he has gone to an amount, but there were two teams eyeing for him. So
Mm.
maybe two teams have seen something good in him. He has been good in all the in the knockout stage of the IPL in all the earlier seasons for KKR. They are investing on him. Let's see how it goes, and everything has to start somewhere, right? You see, look at Rajasthan Royals. They relied on Sanju Samson. Look
Samsung.
at
Mm.
Chennai. They have relied on Rituraj. They are not India regulars, but they are the ones whom they have relied on. So everything has a new beginning. Maybe it is a new beginning for Venkatesh Iyer. We may see a very new version of him.
KKR definitely wanted Venki Iyer. They wanted their old squad back, but I do not know why Bangalore kept on bidding for him continuously, and that kind of increased his price. KKR would
Mm. Correct.
never expected that Venki will go for over 20 crore. They expected that he will
Yeah.
be around 10 crore, and that would have led them to have an extra 10 crore cushion where they could have like gone for Shami or other like good bowlers or any kind of captain material, as you're speaking, like KL Rahul, and that budget
Mm,
would have been there. Even we talked that this amount was enough for having Stark and Salt back. But again, auction is a
mm,
very dynamic thing. We do not know what players would have costed based on the other franchises' expectation and all. Suddenly, one franchisee would come up and they increase the price. So yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah.
mm,
I'm hopeful that this team will not falter. It will not be in the bottom of the table, but it will be very difficult to win the IPL with this team.
And also, if you see their
mm,
entire squad, every other squad have gone to some of the players whom they have relied on from the past, right? Or whom they have picked from very niche players from some of the other leagues, or but here you do not see any unknown names. Only Lavneet Sisodia. Apart from Lavneet Sisodia, all the other names are known names to us in some way or the other,
mm.
right? So that is a bit slightly different in terms of Kolkata Knight Riders compared to other teams which are there. Right. So let's move to the next team. Let's talk about Chennai Super Kings.
So Chennai Super Kings, I think they did well. They had some excellent buys. I think Devon Convoy was one such. Even bringing back Rachin Ravindra, though what I see is he would not be fitting in that 11. So those were very good buys. But again, one problem I think Chennai still has, they don't have a finisher. So they don't have a power hitter. I mean, they do have finishers, but they don't have a power hitter apart from Shivam Dubey, who at most would be batting at 5. I don't see him going at 6 or 7. So Sam Curran and all those, Sam Curran and Jadeja, Ashwin, they are not power hitters. They can you can say them, you can call them as your finishers, but I don't think they would be doing justice to that role. So that was the only problem. Otherwise, I think Chennai have built a very good team. I think there is no prizes for guessing. I think Rituraj Gaikwad and Devon Convoy would be their regular openers. At number 3, I think the role that Rahane used to play, I think Rahul Tripathi is going to be playing that role. He would be coming at 3, and he would also be the impact sub who would be replaced by Khalil Ahmed, who would be coming when it is time to bowl. At number 4, they would go with, I think they will start maybe with Deepak Hooda. They can also start with Vijay Shankar, knowing that Chennai's affinity to have all rounders in the squad. So maybe 1 or 2 hours they would be looking at Vijay Shankar just in case. So they might start with Vijay Shankar, but I still see, I mean, they will go with a specialist batter in Deepak Hooda. At 5, it will be Shivam Dubey. He performed very well, I mean, in the last few seasons at number 5. So he would be their number 5. Sam Curran would come at 6 because the kind of value that he added for Punjab last year in the batting department. So he would definitely come at 6. At 7, it would be Ravindra Jadeja. At 7, it would be Jadeja or Dhoni, either of them, depending on the situation. So mostly it will be Jadeja. At 8, it would be Dhoni. And at 9, it would be Ravichandran Ashwin. So that's their spin attack as well, Jadeja, Ashwin. And then at 10, it would be Noor Ahmed. So Jadeja, Ashwin, and Noor Ahmed would be their 3 spinners, knowing that the pitch in Chennai is a bit slow. So they would definitely go with 3 spinners. At some places, they might go with Nathan Ellis or Anshul Kambaj, maybe in pitches where it supports pace bowling. So there they might rest Noor Ahmed. But mostly they will be going with these 3 spinners. Matisha Patirana obviously would be leading their bowling attack, and along with him, I think Khalil Ahmed would come as the impact sub. And definitely, we have the third seamer as Sam Curran. So this is going to be mostly their team. Rachin Ravindra is going to be a backup, I think, for Devon Convoy if Devon Convoy does not play well, or let's say, for example, Curran does not perform well, so they might bring Vijay Shankar in the squad, and then have that extra overseas player as well as Rachin Ravindra. Anshul Kamboj can be a good backup for Khalil Ahmed, just in case Khalil Ahmed does not perform. Anshul Kamboj can fill in that place. Anshul Kamboj, mind you, I mean, he just took a 10-wicket haul in Ranji Trophy, the third ever bowler to take a 10-wicket haul in Ranji Trophy. So that's a good option. And even Nathan Ellis. Nathan Ellis his name has been doing rounds quite for some time in the IPL. He is mostly associated with Punjab team, did not get many chances last year, but had done well, decently well before that. So he might also come as a bowler in place of maybe Noor Ahmed at some point. So that's what I'm looking at the team. This team looks good. This team will do very well at home. Their only problem will be that in pitches like Hyderabad or Bangalore, where teams generally score 250 or 240 plus, there this team will does not have that firepower to score that 240 or 230. They might go to 200, 220. That's their only problem. Otherwise, this team looks to me going to the playoffs this time.
And the team construct of CSK usually is like this. Like if you look at their
Mm,
11, they usually look a very good one-day team rather than a T20 team, because they choose such kind of
mm,
players and they usually do well for them. So yes, the very
correct.
if you look at all the players there, everyone has their individual experience. They have a solid experience of playing T20. Like they usually do. They choose a experienced team. And we talked about the homecoming of Ravichandran Ashwin. That's a beautiful story. He is already around, I think, 37. So by the end of these 3 seasons, he will be at an age where he can go into a swan song mode of bidding goodbye from his home crowd. So that is also something to look forward to. And overall, I think they will do well at home. And they have that kind of a setup where they will do well at home.
Yes, I will say that their batting firepower is quite not there, as Arjundu has mentioned. They will struggle, but they have tremendous bowling options. They have backup option. They can swap Sam Curran with Rachin Ravindra whenever they need it. They have plenty of good options. They have Khalil also as a backup. So even though they are not going to make 200 plus scores on high scoring pitches, but they do have the arsenal to defend low scoring score even
Mm,
in good pitches. And we have the intelligence, I mean, we have the cricketing acumen from Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Ravichandran Ashwin. They are all thinking cricketers. They might come out with some excellent strategy and try to add value to Ruturaj's already good captaincy he had done last year. So let's see how they can fare well. Yeah, they might be also a challenger to the IPL season next year because of the bowling firepower they have.
Let's go to the next one. SRH.
So SRH usually they have retained their best batsmen, which they are going to continue. Travis Head, Abhishek Sharma, Klassen. I have and Nitish Reddy. I have kept Ishan Kishan on number 3 because I believe they will not try to tamper their opening partnership, even though Ishan Kishan is a good option at the opener. And if even if needed, they can put Nitish Reddy and Klassen on the top, and Ishan Kishan can come later on if there is a batting collapse because he can also slow down on purpose and tend to continue on. Their weakest link in the batting lineup may be Avinav Manohar and Taide, but the option they have in the reserves are also not that much. So I hope they can leverage that, or they can put an experienced batsman, as I mentioned, Ishan Kishan, down the order to bring balance in the 4-5-6 line. But they have Pat Cummins. I have put Cummins as a bowler, but he's as good as a batsman. He can make 50 runs from 13, 14 deliveries. So he can do that. And then we have a good bowling lineup. So Pat Cummins and Shami is a very good value adding for pitches where there are for grounds where there are big boundaries and all. These two players can act as a tremendous value, but they too can falter. Pace bowlers have a tendency to get hit in IPL. So where Harshal Patel can help them, their bowling looks tremendous. And I have kept Impact sub as Adam Zampa because I believe, given the bowling firepower they had, they need spin options, right? So then Adam Zampa could add value, and because they play 3 foreigners on their playing 11, if I'm not mistaken, then this will definitely add their spin forte. But they can also include Jadev Unatkar wherever they need pacers. They have a good balanced side, I believe. They kept their batsmen, they went for their bowler. Their bowling side is not as strong as what we've seen for the earlier team, but they do have the right amount of firepower to leverage. But still, they have kept the main winning factor is their top order intact, and that will add tremendous value in the Hyderabad pitch. And I see them, if they continue with the momentum from the last season and utilize their full team's capability, I see them going long way. Even I see them becoming champion this year also. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking, Arjun, do you think the lower half is a bit too inexperienced in terms of taking them to good finishes? Sometimes their top five will score, but in case they do not score, they do not have a lower half to support that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, see, Atharva Tade is not a number 6 player at all. I mean, if you want to play, so there can be two combinations. I mean, if you see there are three overseas players, Travis Head, Klaasen, and Cummins, they would surely play. It's about the fourth overseas. You can either go with Adam Zampa or you can go with Kamindu Mendes. Kamindu Mendes is a good player. He has performed very well for Sri Lanka, though in Test cricket, but he's a very good prospect. So if you want to go, you can go with Kamindu Mendes as well. But if you want to play Adam Zampa as your premier spinner, then you have to go with Atharva Taide and Abhinav Manohar. I mean, Abhinav Manohar definitely is a sure shot in the 11 because he will be their finisher. I mean, he will be coming at 6 or 7 for them. Atharva Taide, if you want to play him, then you have to play him at 3. So at 3, Atharva Taide comes in, and at 4, if you have Ishan Kishan, and because Ishan Kishan has played at 4 for Mumbai Indians, so he can fit in that role at 4. And then 5, 6, you have Nitish Reddy and Henrik Klassen, and at 7, you have Avinav Manohar. In that case, I think they have a good. In that case, that balance would be right. Otherwise, if you bring a Kamindu Mendes, then Kamindu Mendes comes at 5, and Henrik Klassen at 6, and then Nitish Reddy at 7. So that way also, maybe that's another option. Sorry, Kamindu Mendes at 4, Nitish Reddy at 5, and Klassen at 6, and Abhinav Manohar at 7. So that's another option. They have two combinations to work out, so they can do that and they can address that problem. Otherwise, I mean, their batting is batting as usual. I mean, it's good, and Ishan Kishan, I think, is a good fit because last year Rahul Tripathi was not performing. So right, so that problem they have addressed by bringing in Ishan Kishan, who would do better than Rahul Tripathi, I would feel. Their bowling is good. I mean, they have Shami, they have Cummins, and they have Harshal Patel. So their pace bowling is very good. Their spin, I would still say, is not up to the mark. I mean, they don't have good spinners. So Rahul Chahar did not do very well for Punjab in the recent years, and Adam Zampa has not is not a big name in the IPL. If he does well, he does well, but that's where the challenge would be for them. But definitely, this team will do good. I also see them. I mean, depending on their firepower, they might go to the playoffs. I would not say that they would become the champions because there are other teams as well who are in a better shape according to me. But I think they can go to the playoffs if they have this perfect combination that we mentioned, right? The batting, if they can shuffle it in the correct way.
The top five which Rigja has placed presently, I think I pretty much like that because uh,
Hmm.
they want these five players to face the maximum number of overs. That is something that will go into their mind. But definitely, depending on the situation, the others can come in and shuffle the batting order a bit based on the situation. So that's it about Hyderabad. Let's move to the next team, Lucknow Super Giants.
Yeah, sure. I mean, so for LSG, what I see is that they have done a complete revamp of their batting. So if you would see last year's lineup and this year's lineup, we have too many power hitters in the LSG. So that's one good thing that they have done with the auctions. So if I see the combination, they have they have to go with Aiden Markram and Mitchell Marsh as their opening pair, which is going to be a very good explosive combination. I hope Mitchell Marsh finally does justice to his potential in and shows his actual prowess in the IPL. And Aiden Markram also needs to fire a bit. I think he's not in the form of his life, but I think if he gets a able partner in Mitchell Marsh, he might do good justice to whatever talent he has. At 3, it would be Rishabh Pant, and at 4, it would be Nicholas Puran. So Rishabh Pant is going to be their captain, even if Nicholas Puran was being retained, but Rishabh Pant is going to be their captain. So Nicholas Puran and Rishabh Pant at 4 and 3. And they have brought a very good finisher in David Miller. I mean, David Miller did well for Gujarat Titans when they were champions. And even in the last 2 seasons also, he did decently well. And Ayush Padoni he has not got those many chances, but whatever chances he has got, I mean, he has done justice to his talent and he has shown his capabilities. So Ayush Padoni at 6, and Abdul Samad. Abdul Samad is also a very good power hitter. I mean, he did not have a great season last year. Fortunes might change, and when he goes to a new team, he might perform well. So their top 7 looks very good. I mean, to me, I mean, it's a complete revamp. And only doubt I have is that is it going to be the same Lucknow pitch that we had last year? If that is the case, then there might be an issue because there is no one who can hold that innings the way that KL Rahul used to do. So that can be a problem. But in pitches like Hyderabad and Bangalore, whenever they travel to to play a match versus SRH or they travel to play a match versus RCB and other batting pitches, I think this team would definitely do good. I mean, I would see a few 200 plus scores from this team, and I think that's what their owner even wanted. They wanted someone to play with that intent, right? So their top 7 is good. The problem is is their bowling lineup. I think they don't have a very experienced bowling lineup. Avesh Khan, I don't rate him as a very good T20 bowler. In fact, he's a mediocre bowler to me, to be frank enough. I mean, he's not that great a T20 bowler. Mohsin Khan is a good bowler, but after that injury, and I don't think he's the same bowler as he used to be. Even in the last season, also, he did well, but he was not great. Mayank Yadav has also got injury concerns. So their pace bowling lineup, I think, has some issues, has some concerns definitely. Ravi Bishnoi is a very trusted person. Their spin will not be a problem. I think Ravi Bishnoi definitely should perform better than what he did last year. And I think Washington Sundar will also be there. Shahbaz Ahmed will also be there in that team to have that second spinner. Mayank Yadav will be their impact player, and I think he would come in place of Abdul Samad. So that's what their 11 is going to look like. They might bring in Manimaran Siddharth as well. He had a few matches last year for LSG, so he might come in at some place or the other, or some time or the other. In case Shahbaz Ahmed does not perform well, then Manimaran Siddharth might come in at some places. Maybe he when in pitches where there's more for spin, then Manivan and Siddharth can be the impact player, and Mayank Yadav can be in the 11, and you might drop one of the pacers. So that's there. Akashdeep, I think he's a backup option. I don't think he'll get too many chances in LSG. Seeing the bowling lineup that LSG already has, it can be. I mean, if Mayank Yadav gets injured again, so then in that case, Akashdeep will be their backup pacer, and that's the strategy or the idea that I think LSG had when they brought him back. I mean, when they brought him. Arshin Kulkarni is another option, and that I see only it gets exercised if Aiden Markram does not do well. So in that case, they might bring Arshin Kulkarni at the top and might pick someone else as another overseas player or to fill in that position, or they might go with an Indian option. So that's their team. Again, I don't see this team going to the playoffs just because of the sole fact that they don't have a very good bowling lineup. I think they don't have a very experienced bowling lineup, but their batting will see something different. We'll see something different from this team, like what we did last year. So we might see some big totals from this team.
Mostly the noticeable thing is their entire bowling lineup is a list of Indians, and
Hmm.
all the pace bowlers being Indians. That is something noticeable. Another area is that I was listening to a talk show from Harsha Bhogle, and he was mentioning he had a discussion with Rishabh Pant a few days earlier, and they had a discussion about why doesn't Rishabh Pant open in T20s or limited overs cricket. So the response from Rishabh Pant was ये लोग करने नहीं देते हैं. So he's willing to open. So maybe he will get an opportunity now. Maybe one out of Aiden Markram and Mitchell Marsh may come at 3 and Rishabh Pant may open. So that is another area open. And another just noticeable bit in their auction strategy while they were auctioning was when they went for that whopping amount for Rishabh Pant, right? When DC went for that RTM and they mentioned 27, what might have gone into their mind? So I was just seeing that when DC had gone for the earlier bid, when they were bidding for Shreyas Iyer, they went to that figure of 26.50, I think. And after that,
26.75.
26.50 DC went for, 26.75 Punjab
Yeah,
went
he
for,
was
and they
eventually sold.
overbid them, right? So 26.50
Hmm.
was the benchmark, might have been the benchmark for them, is what LSG understood. So that is why they went for
Hmm.
that amount of 27, so that it is more than what they had last bid for, for Shreyas Iyer. So that is something that was a very unique way of exercising the entire R team option that was there.
I think fair enough. They wanted a captain. They got Rishabh Pant, and they wanted him badly. I think so. That was a very good call from Sanjeev Goenka. I think that was a good call from their management.
Let's see how the entire all Indian bowling attack does for them. If they click, then it would be a different story. Also, the pitch at LSG will
Hmm.
rule the roast, as you were mentioning. Rijay, you want to add something?
Yeah, it's a young side, as Ordindu has mentioned. They might not qualify right away. I also believe the same, but they have the potential to build a team which can be a success later on. They might not pay the brand of cricket their previous captain used to play. So their owner has their own vision. He gets into the line of the technicalities of the game. So let's see how they can implement that, and at the same time their owner also has bad relationship with their captains. So let's see how Pant maneuvers that, and hope he can put those things aside and help himself to become his best self in this team.
Then let us move to the next team to discuss. It's Mumbai Indians.
So Mumbai Indians had also five retention. Their core was already there. Maximum batsman, all rounder, bowler they have already covered in their retention. They had a silent auction. They had a quiet auction on the first day. Second day they picked up some of the players which they wanted. One of the players I want to highlight. You can see the order. This is what they are going to go for. And maybe like Surya Kumar may come at three, and then Namandir can come a little below. Tilak Verma can go up because he has been in a tremendous form for last couple of months, and Tilak Verma will be promoted to higher up the order, I believe so. But I have kept it in this manner, giving the option. One thing Mumbai Indian management has mentioned is their investment on Robin Minch. So Robin Minch has been in their development project earlier also, but they were not able to pick him up on the previous auction. This time they went for him, and the MI management is quite happy. We haven't seen much of Robin Minch in earlier IPL, but hope he can be a breakthrough star, and that can bring a little bit of balance. Their team is already balanced, but they had Ishan Kishan, so I hope he can fill into his shoes and able to ensure that they do not miss him. And from the bowling point of view, they have just Siva is a game changer, and so that's why there is no one needed in the bowling team. Honestly, I believe he can single-handedly carry the burden of the Mumbai bowling attack himself. But Michelle Santner, Deepak Chahar, and Allah
Good job
Gazapar
it up.
is an amazing prospect they have, but they have to immediately put in the first 11, where we can see if they put Trent Bolt, they can be like it can happen. They can have Karan Sharma as an impact player, okay, and that can also happen. But I see him rightly put into the 11 because he's a mischief spinner and he has the capacity to complement with Deepak Chahar and Bumrah in terms of spinning capability of the team. They have a good backup in terms of Ryan Rickelton, where they can use if Robin Means doesn't click. And Ristopley is a good option whenever it is required. He is a good, decent bowler for England. I do not know why he didn't click for RCB. But yeah, he can be used time and again. But they don't require, unless Mitchell Santner, they want to replace Mitchell Santner with a pacer, which doesn't make sense. But yeah, but other than that, Mumbai team is pretty much like they have a like for like replacement for the previous team. Their team was already a champion squad. The only thing now required is the team to gel up and have this understanding among themselves. So once they are able to get that back, their mojo back, then they will be unstoppable. I think this will be their
Right.
year.
And Deepak Chahar, if he is fit, Deepak Chahar, Jasprit Bumrah, and Trent Bolt, they make a beautiful combination for pace attack, right? For the T20 format. Tilak Burma, of course, he has owned the number three position. He will come at that position, is what I believe. Overall, great team. Everything is pretty much sorted for them. Just the spin bowling department is something they could have done better slightly, but otherwise, I think they are well covered in terms of how the auction went for them. Just one noticeable thing from the auction that went through is that where Akash Ambani actually went ahead to shake hands with the RCB owners. On one hand, some discussions might have gone in the background, but on the other hand, I felt that these are kind of unfair play in terms of how auction is being done, right? Because auction is itself a game where all the eight teams, all the eight owners are trying to build the best team that they can. Now, if there is some kind of teaming up that two teams are trying to help each other and trying to make their team formidable, and maybe they are that is impacting the other teams, then I think it's kind of a problem, and we do not even know what extent this particular this can be used right in the future, or what harm
Hmm.
it can do to the other team. So that is something I think should be avoided. Auction should be done very fair and square. Everybody should think only of their own teams, how they are doing. And I think these background discussions where one team is helping out other team to build a better team, these should be avoided, is what I felt.
Yeah, I agree with your point. I mean, these sort of managements should not be done. I mean, it should be a fair game for everyone because everyone gets that fair budget. Even not this. I mean, even the some of the rules that were specifically brought for certain players to be retained in the sides. That was also not fair. I mean, it should be a equal playground or even playground for all the teams. So I agree with your point. Coming at their combination, I think Mumbai would definitely do better than what they did last year. I mean, they look a champion side this time, definitely going to the playoffs this time. Only one thing that they actually not one thing, two things that they would lack. One is that they don't have a proven finisher in their team as of now. Robin Mins is to be tested. I hope he does well and has a great career with Mumbai, and then maybe in the future for India as well. So that's one area of not area of concern, but one area of testing that has to be done in the IPL. And second is that they did not pick up good spinners. I think they could have done better. I seriously thought that they should have gone after Hasaranga or some other good spinner as well. If they don't bring Allah Gazanfar in the playing 11, then I think it would look very ordinary. I mean, it would not look good because Mitchell Stanton. I mean, he's a decent bowler, but he has not done much in the IPL. So they should definitely bring Mitchell Santner and Lagasan for in the lineup so that they have that quality spin. Their pace bowling lineup is extremely good. I think they have covered. They have sure shot 12 overs from them. I mean, Trent Bolt opening the bowling, giving those initial wickets. Deepak Chad also opening bowler. Then Trent Bolt can come at the end as well. Jasprit Bulma, he can bowl anytime, any over, right? So that is definitely covered. Their batting is also well sorted now that Will Jacks is there, so they have that. Namandir is a good addition. I think he will do well with the bat as well and maybe sometimes with the ball as well, maybe a over or so here and there. So I think this combination looks very good. And like I said, I mean, Rickelton was something they were looking at, so that they have picked, but he will not be in the 11. But this team looks a good side.
And as always, they have a big network of scouts, right? This I was reading an
Yeah,
article today. This guy Bevan Jacobs, he is from New
mm.
Zealand, and
He's from New Zealand, correct?
he's playing some of the leagues there, and he has done very well in terms of 200, close to 200 strike rate in all the matches. His highest score is 42 there, but he has consistently gone with those big hits and done well towards the end. So you never know if like he shines.
Yeah, he might fill in the position for Team David, what Team David used to do.
I just want to add two more points. Addition of Deepak Chahar has freed up Bumrah. He can come later on instead of opening the spell. So that means the Mumbai side will be a danger bowling side during the end overs, where Bumrah can have 4 overs at a trot starting from 12th over, and they can defend any score. And regarding what you mentioned about the auction strategy, Mumbai has a history of trading players beyond the auction. They had done previously, and they had also traded players like Hardik Pandya and all. How they do that, we do not know. What is the clauses behind this? We do not know, but they have a history of doing that. So I will not be surprised what you said that the Will Jacks thing might be a insider trade.
Let's go to the next team. Let's talk about Gujarat Titans.
Yeah, so Gujarat Titans, I think they picked up some good players like Josh Butler. They picked up and they picked up Mohammad Siraj, Kagiso Rabada. They pretty much sorted their bowling lineup as well. It looks a good, formidable bowling lineup, and they have some good backup players as well. Only problem I see here is that this team does not have a definite number four, and that's the reason I pushed Sharf and Rutherford over there. So it might be either Rutherford or Glenn Phillips who would be slotting in that position. Otherwise, Shah Rukh Khan, he has to play at four, and then five would be maybe Lomror or someone else or Anuj Rawat maybe. But that does not look like a very good 4-5-6 combination. So most probably it can be a Rutherford. Apart from that, their opening combination is good. I think Butler uh, getting into that side, I think he will add his experience, and he's obviously a power hitter, right? So a perfect foil to what Shubman Gill is. Someone Shubman Gill and Sai Sudarshan who can build that innings, and Butler can go ahead and just hit those deliveries out of the park. So that's a good top three. And I think they have trusted Shah Rukh Khan and Tewatia as their finishers. And Washington Sundar is a good addition. So along with Rashid Khan, now that Washington Sundar is also shining in the international cricket arena as well, he's picking up those wickets. So he also adds that off spin variation along with Rashid's leg spin. So I think that forms a good spinning combination in the pace bowling. Mohammad Siraj, Prasidh Krishna, and Kagiso Rabada. One concern I see is that none of these have a very good death bowling experience. That's where they might lack. So I won't be surprised that Kagiso Rabada might not play all the matches. They might bring in Gerald Coetzee for certain matches. Maybe they drop Rutherford and then play Gerald Coetzee as well in the side, and maybe bringing Anuj Rawat at 4 or 5 maybe. So that way they have to balance their lineup. But this is what their lineup would be with 1 or 2 changes here and there. They would do decently well. I won't say that they're a sure shot for the playoffs, but at least they will do better than what they did last year. So yeah, I mean that's about this team. I mean most of the problems they've already addressed.
Right. Only gap that I see is that if Shah Rukh Khan and then Rahul Tewati and Washington Sundar, if they are still in that form that they were in last year, that looks a bit void for them. Connecting dot between their number four which you have kept and then Rashid Khan. So that void requires to be somehow compensated for. So let's hope that one of the three of them at least has a good IPL this time and then things sort out for the Gujarat Titans.
I have a question for Ardhendu. Is there any reason you kept Glenn Phillips out of the first 11 and played Rutherford? Is Rutherford a good option for a first 11 right away?
I think, see, it would be either Rutherford or Glenn Phillips, depending upon who they choose, right? Rutherford has recently played that role for the West Indies,
Okay.
so he might get a chance. But again, see, it's a 50-50. It might be Glenn Phillips or a Rutherford,
Mhm.
or it might be none of them, and they bring Anuj Rawat at 4 just to have that Gerald Coetzee option in the bowling
Yeah.
lineup as well. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it
Then
will be. They don't have a sure shot number 4. That's what I see. That's what they lack at the present.
this combination looks good, but one player here and there, their combination gets little bit shaky.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. So I think they have built a team which may do pretty well, but compared to other teams, they are not at that par. Maybe they could have done slightly better. So that void in the middle order and how their death bowling will fare, that will determine how their season goes.
They
So let's
also
see.
lack
And
good spinner apart from Rashid Khan. Like only Rashid Khan is going
no,
to.
I think Sundar is
Sundar
still
is there.
going to fill
Sundar
in
will
those.
do fairly good.
Uh,
Yeah. Sundar is
Sundar will do
now
that.
is a regular in Indian T20 setup, right? So
Yeah.
and also in the Narendra Modi Stadium pitch, he
Yeah.
may do well. What I feel. So that is about Gujarat Titans. Let's move to the next team, RCB.
I will start by saying that the way RCB was trolled on the first day, they didn't make a bad team compared to that. They focused on their bowling department. I mean, they were aware that they lacked a good bowling department in the previous IPL to compensate with their batting, but now they had like kind of managed that. They with the amount of money they came in the auction, they could have brought I mean they could have bought better players, but as I mentioned, the auction is a dynamic thing. So I have kept Krunal Pandya a little up the order. Maybe Livingstone or Jitesh Sharma can come up the order, and Pandya can come down the order. And but again, they have Tim David as a good hitter. They have shorted their opening with Phil Salt. Phil Salt can give them a great start, and Virat can continue as the anchoring role. Virat doesn't require to fire up immediately. He can play the anchoring role, and if he can stay back to the end, then he can accelerate and put the partnership in their batting. They have faith on Rajat Patidar. I see if he can contribute. He had played a good innings in last year's IPL in Eden Garden. So if he can continue that form, then I would no, instead of Krunal Pandya, I would go for Living Stone and Jitesh Sharma, Team David, and then Krunal Pandya. I think I'll put him down the order. And then we have in their bowling, they have done a good job in maintaining Yash Dayal and buying Bhuvneshwar and Hazelwood. I think that will add a value. But having said that, their biggest the biggest issue in terms of bowling is the stadium. It's a small stadium, and they do have Hazelwood, and yes, Dayal was able to fit into their bowling mold in the later part of the tournament. He was able to understand his strength and weaknesses according to the situation and according to dimensions of the stadium, and he got great success. If Bhubaneswar also, I mean, this will be his first season, so if he replicate that same thing in Bangalore, he's an intelligent bowler, he's a thinking bowler, he can do that. Hazelwood has to get accustomed. He's a classical bowler, but I think he has to bowl on the variation. So let's see how he'll do that. At the same time, in the spin department, they lacked a bit. They have only Krunal Pandya. That can be a big factor. But having said that, in Chinnaswamy, even with a spinning track, a batsman hitting, a bowler will get hit anyhow. So they lacked a good bowling previously. They tried to compensate that. I think they got a replacement of that. It's a pretty, I would say, a B plus side with Kohli back as a captain. Bangalore requires a lot of energy from Virat Kohli to ensure that they create a group where they can back the captain, they can back the energy of Virat Kohli, and then they can carry up on that. Even in the reserves, their combination, if they want to have a replacement bowler, they can go for Nuwan Tushara, and in batting, they can go again back with Devdutt Padikkal. They had limited success with him previously, and they brought him back again.
Parthiv Patel, right after the auction, in his interview, said that they were looking for Shuyash Sharma as their leg spinner, and they were looking for Kunal Pandya as their off spinner. I'm not sure how true it is. I see them as of course, the second or the third option for any team while they choose a particular player for a particular category. But together, these are the two actually spin options that they have: Suyash Sharma and Krunal Pandya. Not sure how they will fare in the small Chinnaswamy ground, but if they do well, it is good for RCB.
In the batting department, I think they have filled most of their slots. I think Livingstone, Krunal Pandya, Jitesh Sharma, Team David. So their main problem in the previous years was that it was a top heavy batting side. So that at least now they have the finishers in Jitesh Sharma and Tim David, and at least Liam Livingstone. But again, their problem would be the spin. They don't have good spinners, quality spinner. If Shuyash Sharma is going to be your first spinner, then I really doubt about the capability of this team. Again, no offense to Suyash Sharma, but I think he does not have that experience. So that's where they will falter. They have not managed to find Chahal like spinner even after so many years. I don't see this team going to the playoffs this time. Maybe at 5 or 6 they will finish. So yeah, that's what that team is going to be.
That's about RCB. Let's go to Delhi.
Delhi Capitals, I think they have done a brilliant auction. I think for me, Delhi Capitals have done the best auction out of all the 10 teams. And they have filled all their positions. I think they got a captain KL Rahul at just 14 CR, which is very cheap for a captain, like how Shreyas Iyer and Rishabh Pant were going. They have Jake Fraser McGurk, that was a sure shot RTM for them, so they bought him back. Abhishek Porel, they will continue at 3. Stubbs and Brook and Ashutosh Sharma. So that will be your 4, 5, and 6. 3 very good explosive batsmen. So their finishing capabilities and their finishing order for DC, that is also sorted. Akshar Patel at 7. It's a good all-rounder option. He can hit, he can hold the game, and he can come up the order as well, maybe at 6, and Ashutosh Sharma comes at 7, depending on the situation. And then I think the bowling department looks really good. I think Mitchell Stark, he's back. He's back to Delhi now. This time, I think he played for multiple sides, but I think he will do good in the Delhi pitches. And along with that, Mukesh Kumar, T Natarajan. So they have that variety in that bowling department. And along with that, obviously Kuldeep Yadav, who has done well for Delhi. So that would be a great combination at the bowling department as well. And Mohit Sharma, he would come as an impact sub. So he would also add different variation to that bowling lineup, being the death bowler. Though he did not have a very good season previously with Gujarat Titans last year, but I think he would add to that wheel of that Delhi Capitals bowling lineup. I see this team going to the playoffs unless they perform very badly. I think this team is one of the top 4 teams this time, and I think it's a very good team, excellent team for them.
Not getting one of Pant or Shreyas actually became a blessing in disguise for them. They actually
Correct.
could save a lot by getting KL at a very cheap amount. Not sure why Bangalore did not go further for him. Mitchell Stark, that was a brilliant buy at somewhere around the budget that Mitchell Stark was available at. So that was a brilliant buy.
they had a perfectly balanced team, as Ordendo mentioned. They had a near perfect auction. They had a firepower in the top order. They have players who can carry on to the whole innings. They have hitters in the bottom of their batting order. They have spinners. They have pacers. So it's a great combination they have made, and good players they have filled in every spot. They had a great auction, and there were some memes going on the internet that not only they had a great auction, they ensured that the other team had a bad auction by increasing players prices and not going for those players. So that was about Delhi. I think they are a good competitive side this time. I can see them going to at least top four or top two.
That's about Delhi. Let's move to the final team for the day, Rajasthan Royals.
So Rajasthan started with the lowest of the budget, I believe so, and they were able to fill up many of the spaces. And I believe it is a make or break team. They have Jofra Archer in their team, Hasaranga in their team. These players are legends, but also very injury prone. And if they don't click, then they might struggle to fill up those positions. They have Sandeep Sharma, who is an IPL legend, and they have rightly done so by taking him. They have also Thiksana, and the spin department might be little weaker because of losing Yuji Chehel. But other than that, they have Yashasvi and Sanju Samson as the firepower in the top. Sanju Samson has the capacity to carry on the whole inning. He can start and he can stay till the end. Yashasvi can give a firepower, but he also they are a team where these two players can take the game away from the opponent. We have Nitish Rana, and this is an interesting pick by them. Nitish Rana, we have seen in KKR, is a crisis management player. So whenever there is a quick loss of wickets or whenever things need to slow down, Nitish Rana used to be of good help, but he's not known to accelerate any inning. Let's see how he can adapt to this situation. Then we have Rian Parag and Dhruv Jurel. These two are youngsters. They are highly backed by RR, and I believe they do have the firepower. Addition with Simron Hetmeyer. Hetmeyer is a player I believe who has a lot of potential, but I have seen if you give him like 100 games, then he can perform on 20-25 games, and 80 games I haven't seen him firing. That's about it, and I think they have created a balanced squad with whatever amount they have. But their bowling, they have two injury prone superstars who can get injured and then they can totally demolish the team balance. This is my take on this team.
And they have got the Sri Lankan duo of the leg spinner and the off spinner, so that can work in their favor. Ran Parag can come in handy with the ball sometimes. So bowling wise, lot would depend on how Jofra Archer actually is able to keep himself fit for the entire season. So that is something that they would look into.
Yeah, I just have one change, like what Rikja has mentioned. I think in the impacts they would go with Tushar Deshpande rather than Akash Madwal, because Deshpande is a proven customer. I think he has
Yeah.
done well for CSK in the past. So Tushar Deshpande would come in that team. Otherwise, this team looks fine. So Tushar Deshpande is definitely going to be there in that 11. So that adds to their bowling lineup. Just hope that Rajasthan would just hope that Jofra Archer and Vanindu Hasaranga they stay fit. So in that case, I mean their bowling would look very good. In the batting department now they have to show trust on Shubham Dubey because they don't have any other option at 7. Otherwise, their top 6 is good. I think adding that Nitish Rana, I think Nitish Rana, if he performs, then this top 6 looks very good. Possible contender for the top 4 if all their boxes tick. So that would be my take.
I think we have covered all the teams. It may be bittersweet for some of the teams, maybe brilliant for some of the teams, but none of the teams has done badly. They have done what they wanted to do. Like they came with a plan and they have come out with a good team who can compete in the IPL. So that's it from our side. Thank you.
Hey guys, if you're still here, thanks for watching our podcast. We have tons of content lining up. We are going to post an episode on the historic Perth win very soon. We are going to cover the Border Gavaskar Trophy and many other cricket tournaments. It means a lot if you leave a like and subscribe to our channel. Stay tuned and thank you again.